Hello, chemistry students. This is Professor McMahon here, and this is Chapter 4, Lecture 5. We will continue our calculations of chemical quantities. And because we're dealing with chemical reactions, we learn that stoichiometry is a way to calculate the amount of one substance when you're given an amount of another substance. So to have one substance, to be given that amount, and then to have to determine the amount of another substance, I need a balanced equation because there was a change in composition and a chemical reaction had to take place. So to perform these types of calculations, where I want to know the quantity of one substance from another, is referred to as stoichiometry. I first need a balanced equation. Whatever units are given to me for that substance, I need to convert it to moles. That's step 2. A lot of times the units they give you are grams. To go to moles, I use molar mass. Step 3, I need to convert the given substance to the substance I want, the compound I want. That's my mole to mole ratio in my balanced equation. Step 4, now that I have moles of the compound that I'm looking for, I convert that to the units I want. A lot of times, again, that is grams, and I would use molar mass. So as a review, last time we did this reaction, we have 2 moles of nitrogen monoxide combining with 5 moles of hydrogen gas to produce 2 moles of ammonia, 2 moles of water. I want to know the amount of ammonia in grams. So I want grams of ammonia. I'm given 45.8 grams of nitrogen monoxide and 12.4 grams of hydrogen. Classic stoichiometry. I'm given a quantity of 2 substances because they react, and I want to know the quantity of a different substance because that's what they produce, and I want to know how much I produce. So I know it's stoich. So I set it up. And when I do the setup, I have grams of nitrogen monoxide. So the first rule in stoich, if you remember the first rule, said I needed a balanced chemical equation. I have that. They provided that. Convert given units to moles. So I have to convert the grams of nitrogen monoxide and the grams of hydrogen to moles. How do I get moles of nitrogen monoxide from grams? Molar mass. So this step is molar mass. That was step 2. I do the same thing here. Grams of hydrogen to moles of hydrogen. So how do I get moles, right, of the given? Molar mass. Cancels out. Then I would need to go from the moles of my reactant to moles of what I want, which is my ammonia. How do I do that? Mole ratio. So I convert moles of nitrogen monoxide to moles of ammonia. How? 2 moles of nitrogen monoxide, 2 moles of ammonia. I can do the same thing down here. I need to convert moles of hydrogen to moles of ammonia. I have a different mole ratio, 5 to 2. So I put a 5, I put a 2, cancels. The nice thing is now the last half of this double stoichiometry is the same because I'm converting the moles of ammonia to grams. And the molar mass is the same because ammonia is 17.04 grams per mole. Perform my calculation. This is my smaller amount. This is my theoretical yield. Okay, so this is my nitrogen monoxide is my limiting reactant, and hydrogen is my excess. So that is what we did last time. We're going to continue to do the same, okay? But we have to realize the theoretical yield is what's on paper. And what is always planned out on paper doesn't always happen. Why? Well, you might have a side reaction, right? Or incomplete conversion. So you might have a side product, right? What does that mean? Well, I'm going to have less than my theoretical yield. Or maybe this is an impure sample, right? So I don't have as many grams of reactant as I thought, so I'm still going to produce less. So compared to the theoretical yield, when I'm in lab, I might actually collect less, but that will be my actual yield, okay? So why is this important? Well, stoich gives theoretical, what we actually produce or recover in lab gives me what I actually produce, the actual yield. And then I can determine how efficient or how good my technique is through a percent yield calculation. And percent yield is basically a ratio of what I actually produce divided by theoretical times 100. So to do percent yield, I have to do a limiting reactant calculation to determine theoretical, right? And I have to do my double stoich. So here's an example. I have 11.5 grams of carbon. I have 114.5 grams of copper 1 oxide. Now, how do I know this is copper 1? And actually, why am I using a Roman numeral 1? Well, copper is a transition metal. It can have more than one charge. How did I figure out that charge? Oxide's a 2 minus, so I need a 2 plus to cancel that. There's 2 coppers. 2 plus divided by 2 means each is a plus 1. So that's a copper 1 oxide. I have 114.5 grams of it. I actually produce, or I obtain 87.4 grams of copper. So what that's telling me is if I've obtained that, this is my actual, okay? But they want to know what my percent yield is. Remember, percent yield is actual over theoretical times 100. So I have the actual, I need to figure out the theoretical. How do I do that? I have to do the double stoich using my 2 reactants. So I take the 11.5 grams of carbon, I convert that to moles. How do I do that? Like I've been doing the whole time, molar mass, 12.01 grams of carbon per 1 mole. The units of grams carbon cancel. Now I convert the moles of carbon to what I want. I want the theoretical yield of copper. 1 mole of carbon gives me 2 moles of copper. So moles of carbon cancel. And now convert the moles of copper to grams of copper, because that's what I was given as what I obtained my actual yield. So I might as well get the same unit for theoretical yield. 1 mole of copper, 63.55 grams. I don't even calculate this. I do the next setup. 114.5 grams of copper 1 oxide. It's 143.1 to get 1 mole. Grams of copper cancel. It's a 1 mole of copper 1 oxide to 2 moles of copper. That unit cancels, and we can see that this last portion, just like we have in the previous lectures, is the same. And I get 2 answers. So for copper, from the copper 1 oxide, my theoretical yield is 101.7 grams of copper. This is my theoretical. Why? It's the lesser amount. This is my limiting reactant, and the carbon is my excess. Now, I need to do percent yield. Actual over theoretical. I take the 87.4 grams that I've obtained. I take the theoretical yield that I got from my double stoichiometry to determine the limiting reactant, times it by 100, I get 85.9%. So we're going to do the same thing, okay? I'm going to break it down step by step. So given the following equation, this is propane. It's a combustion reaction. How do I know? O2, CO2, and water. I need to balance this. How am I going to do that? Well, there's 3 carbons. There's only 1, so I'm going to put a 3. There's 8 hydrogens. There's 2. 2 times what number is 8? 4. I'm saving oxygen for last. I have 2 here, but how many do I have here? 3 times 2 is 6, plus 4 is 10. I need 10 oxygens. So 2 times what number is 10? 5. So my balance equation, clean this up for you, is this. So we're using balancing equations. So once I have my balance equation, I can then start with, I have 5 grams of propane, 20 grams of oxygen. What is the theoretical yield of water? The reason why I'm going to do theoretical yield, and I know it's a double stoich because they give me both reactants. They give me propane and they give me oxygen. okay? So because there's both reactants and I want to know how many grams of water, I have to do the double stoich. And then from there, they're going to ask me what is my percent yield based on what I produce. So here's the balance equation. I start with 5 grams of propane, 20 grams of oxygen. Again, the path. Convert the grams of propane to moles. So grams of propane to moles. How do I do that? Molar mass. Grams cancel. Convert the moles of propane to where I want to go. I want to go to water. So I have to do my mole to mole relationship, cancel out the moles of propane, go to moles of water. It's a 1 to 4 mole ratio. Eventually, I need to get grams of water. So now I convert the moles of water to grams using molar mass. Moles of water canceled, and I use my molar mass to convert that to grams. I'm going to set it up again before I even calculate. Now with the 20 grams of O2, go to moles of O2 using molar mass. Go from moles of O2 to moles of water. How? Mole ratio. There's 5 moles of O2 to 4 moles of water. Moles of oxygen cancel. Now I go from this last half, it's going to be the exact same. Moles of water is 18.02 grams because I want grams. Perform my calcs. I get 8.17 grams of water from the 5 grams of propane, 9.01 grams of water from the 20 grams of oxygen. I picked the lesser of the two. That's the 8.17 grams of water. This is my theoretical yield, right? Because it's from my stoich. This is what I'm going to use in my percent yield calculation. Propane's my limiting reactant. Oxygen's my excess. I go to my calc. What's my percent yield? Actual over theoretical. It's the 6.21 that I obtained, but the theoretical was 8.17. Again, that's from this previous slide. I picked a lesser amount. Times that by 100, I get a 76% yield. This trailing zero counts as sig figs. This is 3 sig figs. That's my final answer. So you can see stoichiometry, we're just going to keep doing this over and over. In chapter 5, instead of going from grams to moles using molar mass, we're going to go from liters to moles using molarity, but it's still the same rules. So I hope this makes sense. We're going to continue to practice this. You have your homework, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next lecture where we're going to apply stoichiometry to heat calculations. Thanks so much.